Yeah. The only other one is that the scriptures clearly spell out is in 1 Corinthians 7:15. In the early church, a ton of women got saved, and not as many dudes were getting saved.
Yeah.
And so Paul starts addressing this because what happened is women are following Jesus, and then it made some of their husbands mad.
Yeah.
Because they're like, hey, these women were going, man, I can't worship that false god with you, or whatever it was. So some of them start leaving. So then Paul does this. 1 Corinthians 7:15. He says, to the rest I say this, if any brother has a wife who is not a believer, so it's actually reversed right here, and she is willing to live with him, he must not divorce her. So it's like, hey man, if you get saved and your wife doesn't, as long as she's willing to stay with you, you can't divorce her.
Right.
Verse 13, and if a woman has a husband that's not a believer, if he's willing to live with her, she must not divorce him, for the unbelieving husband has been sanctified through his wife. In other words, you have a spiritual influence on them. You should actually lean in, because you might be the instrument God uses to save your unbelieving spouse, as we've seen right there. And the unbelieving wife has been sanctified through a believing husband. Otherwise, your children would be unclean. As it is, they are holy. He's saying there's a way, your presence in your kids' lives has a sanctifying effect. You're having a spiritually positive influence there. So that's another reason. Do it for the kids.
Right.
Then next verse. But here's the only other scenario that the Bible clearly spells out. Biblically permissible divorce. But if the unbeliever leaves, let it be so. The brother or sister is not bound in such circumstances. God has called us to live in peace. How do you know, wife, whether you will save your husband, or how do you know, husband, whether you will save your wife? So the other scenario is abandonment by an unbelieving spouse.
Yeah.
He says right here, that act also violates the covenant so deeply that it says, quote, you are not bound in such circumstances. Yeah. So those are the two circumstances where it's like, God's like, it's actually okay.
Yeah.
Release your conscience, and it's okay to remarry.
Right.
In those scenarios.
Right.